From the bottom of my heart, you guys. Thank you so much
Thank you for watching
for watching this guy's channel,
No,
Jody's
my God.
channel.
Jody's Corner.
No.
My favorite.
Thank you so much.
YouTube was good. It's your boy Jody Joe. Welcome to Jody's Corner. I just wanted to be able to just take the time out to just talk to the camera and just tell you guys how I believe pop culture saved my life. And I'm just going to speak from the heart, speak from the head, just let it all flow out because I wanted to just give you guys like an idea of why I even do the things that I'm doing and how I'm even here today. And it's been on my mind and something, and I told you guys in my previous couple of videos that whenever I'm feeling something and I'm moved by something and I think about something and something is making me feel some type of way, that I'm just gonna release it and I'm gonna make a video about it and I'm gonna share it with you guys, so long that it's appropriate, you know. So here I am. I felt passionate about talking about this topic of how I think pop culture saved my life, and I mean that in a real way. So growing up, I have to tell you about my past. And I grew up with a mother, father. They were married 15 years. I have 2 brothers and a sister. It was 4 kids growing up outside of Los Angeles County. They were married. They loved each other. Then my dad was real abusive. He started to get abusive, got a new girlfriend, started to abuse my mother. I witnessed a lot of negative things. I used to see a lot of bad things when it comes to domestic violence in the house. And, you know, growing up as a little kid, that really has an effect on you. It had an effect on my sisters, had an effect on my sister and my brothers, mostly my older brother. Well, we all had effects from it, but I feel like growing up in the household, we were going through this chaos as seeing the domestic abuse, and then all of the stuff we were living with back then, you know, between my mom and my father, and to the point where my dad ended up leaving. He left with another woman. He left his wife. He left his 4 children in a house with my mom, who doesn't have a job, who was a traditional housewife who took care of the kids, and he left with all his money and whatever he had, and he left us out there to, perfect, in my opinion, to perish. I mean, to struggle. I have, you know, me being a grown man now, I can't even fathom doing that to my family, but he did it. So it is what it is. I've come to cope with it. We moved into the city, got on the county, went through, tried to get through programs. You know, at one point we were living in shelters, lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with 5 people. And it was rough. You know, as a kid, you don't realize how poor you are because you're still a kid. You know, it's just awesome just, you know, being able to go outside and play. But we knew that we were fortunate. And there was one thing that I really had in common with my family and with my friends and within myself. I always loved it, no matter what was going on challenging in my life. There was always something that was always good, pure, didn't change, and gave me happiness. And it was everything pop culture. That's like one of the main things I could think of that didn't let me down, that I always had. I always had Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying? I had I Love Lucy. I used to watch that a lot. I loved my cartoons, my Looney Tunes, my Tom and Jerry. Later on in life, you had the Animaniacs, you had X-Men, you had Spider-Man, and all that stuff. I had the toys. I had, you know, Batman, Superman, you know what I'm saying? I had my 60s classic Superman cartoons. And those bring me a tremendous amount of joy. And I always had those to keep me grounded. That's always what I had. Later on in life, things got worse. You know, for my brothers, they got into the crime, and I dabbled in it. You know, I drifted off into a life of crime and just in my adolescence, I just was just doing dumb stuff. You know, knuckleheaded type stuff. A little bit further to where, you know, I did a couple trips to the juvenile detention, jail, and it was all at a young age. I was really going down a bad path, and my mom ended up having a nervous breakdown. Her first, her second one, I guess, that I seen. She had one because of all the stress that we were putting her through, and that kind of changed me. Like, well, I'm not trying to do this anymore. I don't want no parts of this. So I went on a different road. I stopped hanging out. I stopped hanging with the bad crowd that I was hanging with, and I just tried to focus more and buckle down in school. And I changed. And I knew that I had to change who I was hanging with. And that was the biggest obstacle. And I changed angles of the type of friends I was trying to kick it with. The ones that I was more used to kicking it with. The cool guys, the ones who are cussing, banging, or chasing the girls or doing unruly stuff. I have sinuses, I'm sorry. And I was starting to focus more on, hey, yo, you play Pokemon? Yo, you're into Yu-Gi-Oh? I started getting into these type of things. And I was looking for, I wouldn't say looking for it, but I was more welcoming to those type of friends versus the type of friends I used to have in my past. And that's when, the Justice League comes in. I knew, I met a lot of them in high school. I had friends in junior high that were of pop culture, into the pop culture stuff. And I started to deal with more nerdy type of, they would call it nerdy type of, but we always had edge to us because we're in LA, we're black, we still have the edge to us, we have swag, we're not completely fully but and I had friends that were into the same things that I was into. It wasn't the crime stuff, it wasn't the bad stuff, it wasn't the negative things. It was the things that I always cherished since I was a child, even though I was going through so many different things. And we all had that in common, and that helped keep me out of trouble. It legitimately did. And pop culture legitimately saved my life, because if I didn't do that, if I didn't get into that 20 years ago, I wouldn't be here today. I already know where I would be, dead or in jail or in another bad predicament. I wouldn't be here. And I owe part of that to pop culture. And it's the tingly feeling, even though some people are out there right now, people who are hardened, some people who don't want to give in to the nerd, that the inner nerd, but they still feel that tingle. That I think about Superman 1978, that tingly feeling. It makes you feel like a kid, and you look up to Superman like you want that to be your dad, you want that to be your teacher, you want that to be your brother, you want that to be everything in your life. And you look at the Avengers movie, which is more common, and you see the Avengers pan around scene, and that makes you tingle. You think that movie was only making nerds tingle? You think that movie was only making children tingle? There was some grown man up in that audience with kids, or some grown hood dudes, or some grown businessman, or some I don't like child stuff, and they felt them tingles too, because that's what pop culture does, especially when it's done right. Is it really, it scratches that itch, especially when you're a young kid and a boy, because you're into less of the Barbie dolls and the other stuff. You're into the action figure, you're into the spectacle of what a hero is at a younger age. And that's what pop culture was for me. And I honestly believe to this day that if it wasn't for pop culture, then I wouldn't be here. I'd be still living the effed up life. And here I am now. I got a family, I got a league, I got people who care about my opinion. I have colleagues, I have friends, I have a support system, I have you guys. And I just felt like sharing a brief story about why I love pop culture and how it saved my life. I honestly feel like something that people would see so small could have such a large impact on a person. And I'm living it. Jody's Corner is that. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm grateful for every fan, subscriber, family member that I have on my channel. I know there's different levels of y'all, and I love you all on those levels. I have an amazing support system of people who donate to my channel and show love, and they consistently blow me away. And I really am thankful, and I'm grateful for the position that I'm in, and I owe a lot of it to pop culture. So I'll never, and that's why when I'm passionate about something, and I seem like I'm being aggressive, it's just the passion. It's the love I have for it that makes me this way. Because when I stop being this way, that means I don't care anymore. And I honestly don't think I could ever not care anymore about pop culture, especially for what it did on my life. I would like to know if there's any of you guys out there who have a pop culture story about how it helped you in any way. Not probably so much as dramatic as saving your life like mine. But I'd like you guys to put it down in the comment section below so we can start a discussion. Let me know what you guys think. If you're thinking of anything or then not, maybe don't comment. Maybe if you don't have the same situation, that's fine. I hope you guys got something from this video. Thank you to everybody who watches me, and I'm really grateful to be here on YouTube and be able to share my opinion with the rest of the world and touch you guys from wherever you guys are at. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you guys on the stream, 5 p.m. I'm Jody Joe, and I'm out to stay. Deuces.